Hi, I'm Danielle Schiel, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about religion in public schools. According to the United States Department of Education and their guidance on constitutionally protected prayer and religious expression in public elementary and secondary schools, the Supreme Court has repeatedly held that the First Amendment requires public school officials to show neither favoritism toward nor hostility against religious expressions such as prayer. So I'm going to start off talking about school prayer for students. So students can pray when they're not engaged in school activities or instruction according to the USDE. Students can read their Bible, Torah, or other scriptures, say grace before meals, and pray or study religious materials with fellow students during recess, lunch, etc. They're also able to organize prayer groups. They can organize these groups to the same extent that students are permitted to organize other non-curricular student activity groups, again, according to the USDE. Students may not engage in religious harassment of others or compel other students to participate in religious expression. Schools may neither favor nor disfavor students or groups on the basis of their religious beliefs, according to the Pew Research Center 2019. Schools do have the ability to accommodate prayer during instructional time. They have the discretion to dismiss students as long as schools are not encouraging or discouraging participation and they're not penalizing students for their participation or for not participating. And that's, again, according to the USDE 2020. An example of that would be Muslim students being excused from class to fulfill religious obligations to pray. Schools can also set up moments of silence as long as they don't have a secular purpose. Students are then free to pray or not to pray, and teachers cannot require, encourage, nor discourage students from praying during such time periods, again, according to the USDE 2020. As students complete class assignments, they are able to express their beliefs about religion in their homework, artwork, and other assignments. As students grade or judge their work, it has to be completely judged on academic standards. There cannot be any bias or discrimination based on the fact that they have religious beliefs and shared them in their assignments. During student assemblies, the school officials must determine if the content that's going to be expressed, if it includes prayer or other religious content, it is not allowed. So school officials need to be really mindful in making sure that their guest speakers are not going to include prayer or religious content. So this goes into graduation and baccalaureate. So for graduation, school officials may not mandate or organize prayer at graduation. So basically, this just means that as long as the school officials didn't encourage or explicitly approve the contents, courts have upheld religious content in student commencement speeches, and that's according to the Pew Research Center 2019. If the speaker is not a student, school officials may make a disclaimer to clarify that the speech is the speaker's and not the school's speech. Baccalaureate is a different beast because school officials cannot mandate or organize religious ceremonies, but they can make their facilities and related services available to other private groups, according to the PRC 2019. So this moves us into the Equal Access Act of 1984, which just basically states that if the school is making their facilities available to other groups, they cannot discriminate against religious groups. So moving on to teachers, administrators, and other school employees. When these employees are acting in official capacities as a teacher, administrator, or other employee, they are prohibited from encouraging or discouraging prayer, and they cannot actively participate in religious activity with students, according to the United States Department of Education 2020. So the Supreme Court declined to review a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals decision upholding the firing of a football coach at a public high school for praying on the field with his players after games, according to the Pew Research Center 2019. President Trump has actually offered praise and defended this coach, according to Ordonez 2020. And again, according to Ordonez 2020, updated guidance to schools is one of 3 actions the Trump administration is taking to support the free exercise of religion. So we're getting ready to see more guidance based on students being able to participate in religious activities. Now, when teachers, administrators, and other school employees are not participating in their official capacities, they are allowed to take part in religious activities like prayer. Some examples of these times might be before school, lunch, during a private phone call, and typically off-duty hours, according to the USDE and the Pew Research Center. One court reason that teachers become private citizens once the school day has ended. This could be misconstrued because we all know teachers stay on duty past the school day. So there really has to be the discretion of the teacher or administrator saying, am I acting under the duty of my position? And if not, you're free to participate in religious activities. Now, teaching about religion, public schools may teach the Bible as literature. So basically they can include lessons that talk about the role of religion and religious institutions in history. If they're teaching about philosophical questions, they're comparing religions, and influences on art or music, but they cannot actually teach religion. And that's all according to the Pew Research Center 2019. So my research included an article by NPR Radio Kansas, the Pew Research Center, and the U.S. Department of Education. Thank you for your time.